Datewear Fashion Podcast Number 1. Fashion and dating advice from cities around the world. Today's interview is with a fashion stylist from New York.
Hi, I'm Jordan, a podcast producer at Datewear. Today we're speaking with Sarah, a fashion stylist in New York. Thank you so much for joining us today, Sarah. We're excited to dive into a topic that's on everyone's mind: what to wear on a date. But before we get into the specifics of styling, can you tell us a little bit about how you got started as a fashion stylist?
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to talk about something as fun and personal as date night fashion. Well, I've always been passionate about fashion since I was a teenager. I was the girl who would spend hours scrolling through magazines, dissecting celebrity outfits, and dreaming of putting my own spin on things. I went to fashion school, and after that, I worked as an assistant to a few senior stylists in the industry. I was able to collaborate with photographers, designers, and celebrities, and I learned a lot about how to make fashion fit into real life, not just runways. Eventually, I transitioned into styling for individuals, and now I work with clients on everything from casual looks to formal wear, including helping people dress for special occasions like dates.
That's so inspiring. Now, when it comes to dressing for dates, it's easy to feel overwhelmed by the pressure of making a great first impression. In your experience, how important is fashion when preparing for a date?
Great question. I think fashion is a way to express who you are and how you want to be perceived, so it's important, but it's not the only thing. Confidence, energy, and connection are just as crucial to making a great impression. That said, the right outfit can help you feel confident, comfortable, and even make you stand out in a good way. It can also signal that you care about the occasion and the person you're with. Think of it as your first layer of communication. It says, I'm putting thought into this, I'm excited, and I care about how I present myself.
So it's not just about impressing the other person, but also about how it makes you feel, right?
Exactly. When you feel good in your outfit, it shows in your posture, your smile, and your overall vibe. You'll be less worried about how you look and more focused on enjoying the date itself. But the key is balance. You want to choose something that highlights your best features and also suits the vibe of the date.
That brings us to the next big question. How do you figure out what to wear for a date? What are the factors to consider when choosing the right outfit?
There are a few key factors. First, you need to consider the type of date you're going on. Is it a casual coffee date, a dinner at a fancy restaurant, a fun activity like bowling or mini golf? Each setting will call for different types of outfits. Once you know what the vibe of the date is, you should think about your personal style. What makes you feel the most you? Are you more classic and timeless? Or do you like to experiment with trends? The outfit should reflect your personality and your comfort level. The third factor is the weather. This one is pretty obvious, but it's important not to forget about temperature when picking your date outfit. You want to feel comfortable, so layering or picking breathable fabrics might be necessary depending on the season. Last but not least, consider the comfort factor. If you're not used to wearing heels, maybe it's not the best time to break them in for a long night out. Always think about how long you'll be wearing the outfit and whether you'll be able to move freely.
You mentioned thinking about the type of date. How do the outfits for casual dates differ from those for more formal ones?
Great question. For a casual date, like grabbing coffee or going to a park, you want to keep things laid back but still put together. Think about wearing denim, a cozy sweater, or a cool jacket, and some stylish sneakers or flats. The key is to look effortless, but still like you've made a little effort. You might add a pop of color with accessories or choose a unique piece like a trendy bag or a fun hat. You don't want to look like you've tried too hard, but you also don't want to look like you just rolled out of bed. For a more formal date, like a fancy dinner or a cocktail event, you have more room to dress up. For women, this could mean a sleek dress, tailored trousers with a chic blouse, or a statement jumpsuit. For men, it could mean a well-fitted blazer with a crisp shirt or a modern suit. The key here is to elevate your look. Think about textures, structure, and maybe a little bit of sparkle. Accessories also play a huge role in dressing up. A great pair of earrings, a sharp watch, or a polished belt can take an outfit from good to great.
It sounds like the overall vibe you're going for is important, and that changes based on where you're going and what you're doing. But how do you know if an outfit is appropriate for the occasion?
You can never go wrong with dressing a little more slightly elevated than you think is necessary, but you also want to consider the venue and activity. If you're going to a laid-back coffee shop, you don't want to overdo it with a cocktail dress, for example. On the flip side, if you're going to a Michelin star restaurant, wearing sneakers might not be the best choice unless it's part of a really high fashion, street style look. Always think about where you're going and do a little research on the dress code. If the restaurant has a formal vibe or if the event has a specified dress code, that's a clear sign. It's about understanding the balance between your style and the context. That's what makes the outfit feel authentic and appropriate.
That's a good point about knowing the context. I also know that some people might be nervous about whether their outfit sends the right message. Do you have any tips on how to avoid looking like you're trying too hard or alternatively too casual?
Yes, this is a huge issue for many people, especially when dressing for a first date. The trick is to pick something that makes you feel like your best self while still aligning with the occasion. If you overdo it with too many accessories or a bold trend, it can look like you're trying too hard. The key is simplicity. A classic silhouette can look chic and timeless. You don't need to go for something overly flashy. The trick to not looking too casual is all about the small details. Maybe instead of wearing jeans, opt for a pair of well-tailored trousers or a jumpsuit with a clean design. It's about picking pieces that are simple but polished. You don't need to be in a tuxedo or a cocktail dress, but you can still elevate casual wear by going for higher quality fabrics or cleaner cuts.
I love that advice about simplicity and paying attention to the small details. Now let's talk about color choices. How important are colors when dressing for a date, and do you have any guidelines for selecting them?
Color plays a huge role in how people perceive you, and it can also affect how you feel. For example, red is often associated with passion and energy, so it can be a great choice for a date. It's bold, but not over the top. Navy and black are both classic choices that convey sophistication and elegance. These are safe bets for dinner dates or more formal settings. If you're going for a softer look, pastel tones can give off a calm, approachable vibe, great for coffee dates or low-key outings. I would suggest staying away from overly bright neon colors unless that's your personal style and you feel confident in them. They can sometimes be a bit distracting. Also, if you want to convey confidence, colors like deep emerald, plum, and charcoal work wonders.
So colors can have an emotional impact as well. How about patterns? Are they a yes or no when it comes to dates?
Patterns can definitely be a yes, but it depends on the context. For a first date, I usually recommend avoiding anything too loud or busy because it can detract from the connection you're trying to make. A subtle pattern like stripes or polka dots can be charming and playful without overwhelming the look. But if you're doing something more formal, you may want to opt for solid colors to keep things sleek and polished. Of course, if you love bold prints and you feel great in them, go for it. Your outfit should feel authentic to who you are.
This has been so helpful. Before we wrap up, can you give us some general advice for dressing on a date, something that people might not always think about but could make a big difference?
Absolutely. One of the biggest things I would suggest is to wear something that makes you feel like you. Sometimes people get caught up in trying to impress the other person too much, but the best thing you can do is be authentic. If you're comfortable in your own skin, it will shine through. Also, don't forget about the details. Something like a neat hairstyle, a well-maintained manicure, or a spritz of fragrance can elevate your entire look. Little touches matter. Finally, remember that confidence is key. If you love what you're wearing and you feel great in it, that energy is contagious.
Thank you so much, Sarah. This has been a wonderful conversation, and I'm sure our readers will appreciate all the expert tips. Any final words for people heading out on a date soon?
Just have fun and be yourself. Dates are about connecting with someone, and the right outfit can help you do that by making you feel confident and at ease. Good luck.
Thanks again, Sarah. You've made dressing for dates feel a lot less intimidating, and I'm sure everyone will be a little more excited to plan their next outfit now. Before we wrap up completely, Sarah, there's one more thing I'd love to dive into: dressing for different types of dates. While the general advice is super helpful, there's always something specific about a date type that might require special attention. For example, how should someone dress for an outdoor date, like a hike or picnic?
Yes. Outdoor dates have their own unique charm, but definitely require a different approach. Comfort is key here, as you want to enjoy the activity without feeling restricted by your clothes. Think about the terrain and the weather. For a hike, go for breathable fabrics that allow you to move freely, like activewear or athleisure. A good pair of leggings or joggers paired with a moisture-wicking top and supportive sneakers is the way to go. You can still look stylish while staying practical. For accessories, maybe add a cute hat or sunglasses to protect yourself from the sun, and a light jacket or hoodie for layering in case it gets chilly. A backpack or crossbody bag for carrying essentials like water and sunscreen is both functional and stylish. For a picnic, think casual but with a little extra polish. A breezy dress or a jumpsuit works well here. I'd recommend something in a fun print. Florals are always a great go-to for picnics, and pair it with comfortable flats or sandals. A lightweight sweater or denim jacket is perfect for layering if the weather cools down. And don't forget a cute picnic blanket and a stylish basket to carry your snacks. Those little touches can elevate the vibe.
I love that. It's about blending function with style while keeping the vibe light and carefree. Now, how do you approach date night looks when you're dressing for something a little more unique? For example, a concert or a sports event.
That's a fun one. For concerts, especially music events where you want to embrace a bit of edge or creativity, you can have a lot of fun with the look. For women, a cool band tee or graphic shirt tucked into a high-waisted skirt or distressed jeans is an easy way to blend comfort with style. You could even throw on a leather jacket or a stylish blazer to add some structure. As for footwear, something like ankle boots or a fun pair of sneakers would keep you comfortable without sacrificing style. It's a great opportunity to experiment with accessories like chunky jewelry or a standout bag. As for a sports event, the key is striking a balance between casual and sporty. A stylish jersey or team t-shirt is an obvious choice, but you can still make it your own by pairing it with a jacket that elevates the look. A bomber jacket, for example, can give you a cool, effortless vibe while still being comfortable enough for the game. Comfortable shoes are a must, whether that's a great pair of sneakers or sporty flats. When dressing for something like a sports event, you don't have to shy away from showing some team spirit, but you can still keep your look sleek and chic.
I love how you suggest integrating a personal style even when the event is more casual or activity-focused. So, switching gears a little bit, let's talk about one of the most important aspects of any outfit: fit. How do you guide clients when it comes to choosing pieces that fit just right?
Fit is absolutely everything. It's the foundation of any great outfit, whether you're dressing for a date or a day at the office. The right fit can make even the simplest outfit look sophisticated. When I work with clients, I always emphasize getting pieces tailored. Tailoring can make a huge difference. For example, a simple pair of pants or a dress can look completely different when it's fitted to your body. Sometimes the smallest adjustment, like taking in the waist or shortening the hem, can make all the difference. For women, if you're wearing a dress, it should hug your body in the right places without being too tight. It's all about finding a balance where you're comfortable but still look polished. For men, tailoring is just as important. A well-fitted blazer or shirt instantly elevates the look. Pants should break just at the right point above your shoes to give you that sharp, clean finish. When things fit well, you'll look and feel more confident, which is the key to a successful date.
I think that's something many people overlook: the power of tailoring. So as we wrap up, let's talk about one last thing. How much influence does personal grooming have on the overall look, especially for a date?
Personal grooming is definitely a big part of the picture. It doesn't matter how amazing your outfit is if you're not paying attention to your grooming. It's the finishing touch that pulls everything together. If you've styled your hair, perhaps add a little touch of texture or volume, or a cute braid if that's your vibe. For men, keeping facial hair trimmed and neat can make a huge difference. A fresh haircut or even just clean, styled hair can elevate your entire look. When it comes to makeup, less is often more for a date, unless you're the type to love bold looks, in which case, go for it. But typically, a natural makeup look that enhances your features works best. If you're not into makeup, that's perfectly fine too. Just make sure your skin is clean and moisturized and your look feels fresh. Lastly, fragrance is something many people forget about, but it's so important. A light spritz of your favorite perfume or cologne can leave a lasting impression. Just be sure not to overdo it. You want to be remembered for your presence, not your scent overpowering the room.
This has been such a rich conversation, Sarah. Your advice really covers everything from the small details to overall style, making sure that each date is approached with intention and confidence. Thank you so much for sharing your expertise with us today.
Thank you for having me. It's been such a pleasure talking about the art of dressing for dates. I hope everyone feels inspired to step out in style, no matter the occasion, and just have fun with it.
Absolutely. Thank you again, Sarah. We're sure our listeners will leave this interview feeling confident and ready to pick out their perfect date outfit.
Please visit Datewear Fashion to view all of our amazing products. Also visit our ebook library for exciting fashion tips on all datewear collections. Read our weekly blogs and podcasts for fashion advice from leading fashion stylists.